Raffaele Marciello versus Albert Costa at the front on the grid to get Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe powered by AWS. Sprint Cup underway for 2023. The lights will change. The race underway now. Good start by Marciello. Costa slots in behind him as they make the run up towards paddock. There's an effort by Witz on the inside of the big red BMW, but he can't quite find a way through. And Marciello has done exactly what is required. He's hit the front and he charges uphill to Druids for the first time.
Yes, clean start. Everybody gets through Paddock Bend. Doesn't appear to be any contact. Certainly nobody into the gravel, and everybody now streams through the tight first gear. Druids down the hill into Graham Hill Bend.
And Albert Costa is the one doing the chasing. Up into third place is Ricardo Fellas. He's got himself ahead of Lapalainen as they round that left-hander, the tightening left-hander of Surtees onto the Grand Prix loop. Now that was Witz. He's fallen back behind Engelhardt.
Yes, he did. He fell behind. Yes, Engelhardt did very well to get ahead of Charles Birch. Birch was competitive coming up into Paddock Bend, trying to get back at Engelhardt as they come into Hawthorne. And the BM might have that little bit more straight line pace, but it's finding a part of the racetrack where you're going to affect that overtake.
So Christian Engelhardt, who dropped the car in the gravel at the end of qualifying yesterday, lost his best time as a result, having to make a bit of progress now as the cars go up through Dingledale, then Sheen Curve, and then he's left into that slightly banked corner of Stirling's, which has caught out many in the past. Great little battle going on there. Look, Christian Clean in number 111 McLaren fending off the Jean-Baptiste Simonal BMW. So Raffaele Marciello with a wheel on the dirt, heads out of Clark Curve at the end of lap 1. He is trying to build a lead, and he is doing so with Albert Costa chasing. And look at the gap. The top two have pulled over the third place Audi of Matteo Drudi.
Yeah, that's a comfortable advantage over the opening lap. What is it, just under a second between Costa and Marciello, but then it's 2.1 seconds between first and third place. So the lead two cars stretching their advantage, and most likely will continue to do so because Matteo Drudi is going to be involved in the battle with Lapalainen in the second of the Ferraris, Engelhardt in the Porsche, and Vetch riding out the top six in the BMW. But look, Benjamin Goethe again pushing, trying to find a way around Ateki.
And he's done it, hasn't he?
Just down through Dingledale, and that was a good exit out of Westfield that enabled him to do so.
Yeah, so Benjamin Goethe has been pushing. He got past Christian Clean earlier on. He's now got past Adam Ateki, so that puts him up in the 14th place. Right, the pit window is now open, so the race battles on to lap 18, and drivers in the pit lane are getting ready. Charles Weirtz down the pit lane then, also in Consta Lapalainen, so that's 4th and 6th that come in straight away.
Yeah, two teams have just read the situation and said, let's stop at the earliest opportunity with one of our two cars. Others likewise further down the field following suit.
Right, now let's keep an eye to pit stop times here. The times are going to be line to line. There are others coming in as well because Lucas Legere is in, Alex Arca is in to give up his Silver Cup lead. And that means that Jordan Love's Mercedes AMG takes over silver. There is Alex Arca giving 99 over to Lorenzo Petresi, who was in the gravel yesterday. We expect also, coming down the pit lane, the Lamborghini from Baptiste Poulain. Valentino Rossi is in as well. Right, so that's going to shuffle the order. It'll all start to make more sense once everybody has served their regulation pit stop, in which you've got to change 4 tyres, by the way. You don't refuel, but you must change tyres. Oh dear.
What are they doing? What are they doing? Oh. Does somebody not tell them that you don't nose the car in and then you completely destroy the pit stop of the Audi, and everybody's just standing, waving their hands?
Let's have a look. The car controller waves it in, and he swings it out of contact. That's why it's like that.
Well, that was a bad release from the Audi. Yeah. Whoever waved that Audi clear made a judgment, a misjudgment, and all innocence to the Honda driver and Honda team. Sorry, guys, that was just a quick reaction to what we saw, but once we've had the truth, we know what the situation really was. So we wait to see how quick this pit stop is. And the Emile Frey team turn the Ferrari around and benefit from this, and maybe not overtake the Mercedes, which will probably come in at the last moment, but certainly ease into the advantage, and therefore they know that when the Mercedes, the 88, makes its pit stop and Timo Boguslawski takes over, that he will not have the pace of Marciello, and that might be an opportunity for the Ferrari now to do something that would bring it at least closer, if not ahead, of the 88 Mercedes.
But I think that Vanthor may well have got ahead, and I think also Ricardo Feller has gone through. So that pit stop for the Ferrari, let's just have a look at a pit stop time. 52.6 seconds. That was a slow stop for the Ferrari because everything else has been in the 40s. The Ferrari has junked places, has it not, as a legacy of that pit stop. Marcello is wide at Sterling's and up the curb, and I think you're right, John, those tyres have had enough.
Well, he had to push very hard all the way through. Track conditions have been changing them and getting warmer, warmer, warmer. In he comes. So Boguslawski is ready, standing, waiting to take over, and he'll be under, I suspect, enormous self-induced pressure, let alone anything that may or may not come from his team, because he knows right now he isn't as quick at Brands Hatch as Raffaele Marcello is, but he's been handed over the race-leading car.
And there, blasting away, is Timo Boguslawski. That should keep the car in the lead. Remember, there's no set time for these pit stops, line to line. They're natural pit stops, as quick as you can. But Feller is on a mission in the Audi.
Yeah, this Feller is who is technically now in second place, because Engelhardt and the 28 Gachet, which is in a different category, that's in the gold category. So there is, and Boguslawski on his outlap just has to be careful. He hasn't been in the car since Saturday evening. Track conditions are different. Ambient temperatures rising gradually up to 14.3. Track temperature up to 24.3. Track and ambient have risen quite quickly in just simply the last 15 or so minutes.
This is the replay coming up of Raffaele Marcello on that in lap, going wide at Sterling's. We saw it. We were talking about the tyre going off, but he turned into Sterling's, and the car just wasn't as cooperative as it had been.
You can see a lot of lateral movement. The tail beginning to want to come around. Had to put opposite lock on to steer into the slide, which then in turn carries the car a little bit further over the exit curve than Marcello would have liked. Watch this.
So that's for 8th and 9th. That is Bart versus Franck Pereira, who lines up to have a go on the outside in the Lamborghini, and he's done it, right round the outside, but he's way wide over the curve.
I think he'll get away with that, Barrett trying to come back, but there you've seen the first genuine racing overtake of this race, and you've seen it live as they came into Paddock Bend.
Replay here of Dean McDonald making his move on the inside of the 163 Rolf Ineichen Lamborghini, and that's a brave effort, isn't it, going into Sterling's. Ineichen gets a little bit of a hip and shoulder and forced out wide, but this is a battle for silver. So you've got Frank Bird just ahead there of Jacopo Guidetti in the Honda. There's also Rolf Ineichen further up the road. Christopher Mees in the green Audi looking for a way past. He's pro, trying to get through the silvers. Fairly frantic in this little battle. Let's have a look at what went on a lap ago. Frank Bird in the Mercedes into the back of the Lamborghini. That's the car of Rolf Ineichen, which will have dropped back as a legacy of this through the corner. Let's just see what happens. He catches onto the plates, at least there.
Yeah, Rolf Ineichen must be getting a complex. He was attacked by Dean McDonald in Sterling's a few minutes ago. Now he's got Frank Love in the Mercedes likewise doing a similar thing.
So this was the continuation of the battle up towards Paddock. Frank Bird up the inside, contact, and Ineichen squeezed out wide with that contact. Right, race leader is still here. Timo Boguslawski, 3.2 seconds to the good, and he's just lost 6/10 in the first
Car
second.
77 must give back one position for the contact in turn 1. Car 77 must give back one position for the contact in turn 1.
Leader goes through. Boguslawski over the timing line. Feller over the timing line. What are we down to? It is 2.2 seconds, 2 3/4 minutes to go.
There we go. He's got it done. Finally, Christopher Haas has found a way to get alongside Giacomo Altway in the Ferrari, and all that hard work over the entire stint. Christopher Haas has found a way through, and well, what's it worth?
But down towards Sterling's, the gap will concertina as still Boguslawski has that traffic ahead of him. He's up the curb, so is Feller, throwing everything at it. He, in a way, is in the better position because he can charge out of the corner and attack, whereas Boguslawski's still got that traffic ahead of him, but the Audi does not come off curve close enough, and he's going to be a win in the opening round of Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe powered by AWS Sprint Cup for Timo Boguslawski and Raffaele Marcello. The Mercedes AMG from Acodis ASP wins at Brands Hatch. Ricardo Feller 6/10 of a second behind, and they're in problems by the look of it. Thierry Vermeulen, who has dropped off the road and he's dropped back in the pack. Dries van Thor comes through for third. A really good, solid fourth. Good defence of that position. Adrian Delina, Christopher Hauser, as ever. Oh, Delina's got a problem. He slowed right down coming to the line. So Hauser will get fourth on the run to the line. Fifth is going to be the Ferrari in the hands of Giacomo Altway. Sixth from Pereira. Seventh across the line, Vermeulen. Eighth, Delina. Now, was that mechanical or was that fuel?
But it looked to me as if it was fuel, simply because the way the car stopped moving forward, there was no indication of any mechanical issue. But there are a lot of things in these modern race cars that could contribute to a sudden loss of drive and power.
Right, so 8th, the Porsche, not 4th. I'll take it all back. 9th, Nicholas Bart. 10th to win gold, Alberto Di Folco. 11th to win silver, Lorenzo Petresi and Alex Arca. This is Frank Bird and Christopher Mies. Mercedes-AMG versus Audi, silver versus pro. Christopher Mies in the mobile runoff area, the bright green Audi looking for a way through as they dive into Clark Curve. Christopher Mies incredibly quick in his qualifying session yesterday, and he's going to do him on the line. I think he has a look on the inside. Here comes Christopher Mies, and through he goes right to the very, very end. There is drama. Christopher Mies takes 21st overall on the line. Never give up. And this was our ultimate result. A win for Timo Bogoslavski and Raffaele Marciello from Mattia Drudi and Riccardo Fella. Charles Weerts third with Dries Van Thor ahead of Lucas Legere and uninspired Christopher Hauser. Constant Lapalainen with Giacomo Altway 5th and up to 6th at the very end, Jordan Pepper and Franck Pereira. Albert Costa, who ran 2nd early on, was 7th with Thierry Vermeulen, and Christian Engelhardt and Adrian Delino dropping to 8th on the line ahead of the ComTU Audi of Nicholas Bart and Fred Verviche, with 10th being Alberto Di Folco and start driver Aurelian Panis winning gold. Trophies then presented to the top 3 combinations of drivers and, of course, the winning team. The trophy was given to the drivers, but now it's handed over to Jerome Policon. A great effort by Mercedes ASP. Just the one car, but it's a winning car. And there, the trophies to the winning drivers now. So congratulations to Timo Bogoslavski, Raffaele Marciello, the winners of the first Sprint Cup race of the year in Fanatec GT World Challenge Europe, powered by AWS.